time to find out how I'm getting on with my terrain square corner competition entry. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, an update on my terrain square corner competition piece that I'm building alongside you guys. I really hope this competition is getting your terrain making juices flowing. I'm certainly having a lot of fun so far. So this competition, there's going to be some prizes at the end. We've got two sponsors. We've got WarGames, link to their website below. Go and check it out. Awesome place to buy your wargaming stuff. And also from Inside Out Terrain, link in the description below to their Facebook page. Go and check them out. Commission painting and terrain making. Two awesome sponsors. Okay, so as you saw in the previous video, I got myself some installation foam. I managed to take the silver backing off. It was a bit of a task, but I eventually did it. And then I started experimenting. As I said, I've never used this stuff before, so just going on some of the videos that I've seen previously. So just flip this over. These are my experiments. So first of all, I experimented with what GAMZA does, and that's using a lighter to basically like seal the foam. And also he used it once to mount the foam to make like an indentation. Now, as you know, I'm doing a pool, so I thought maybe I could mount this foam. So I tried that and it did nothing. Pretty much, to be fair, just changed the colour of it. There's a very slight indentation, but I had to hold it there for quite some time before anything happened. So this doesn't really mount, and that made me think, well, is it going to mount if I put primer on it? So as you can see, I sprayed some primer on it, and again it did not mount at all, so that's really good. Now of course I'm using those Promethium relay pipes on this piece, so I also was thinking about how am I going to glue those things to this this material. So I decided to experiment. I've got a piece of plastic here and I've super glued this piece of plastic on, and again it hasn't burnt into the material, and that is on there. It's really strong. So 3 tests, all really positive, so I'm feeling good about this material. So I then got to work on the actual piece. So first of all, I got the biggest piece that I had and I cut it down just here, just to make it a bit smaller, and plus I wanted to use the offcuts for the top piece. So I started off doing that, and I made a little cave, and so I just cut out this. Now what I used a bread knife to cut this material. It seemed to work quite well. So I started off doing this little corner piece with a cave, and then I have to admit I went like a bull out of a gate on this thing. I went too quick, I have to be honest. I cut the edges off, which is fine. I was quite happy with those, just made them sort of like a rocky material, which I'm going to have like a rocky step almost. And then went straight in and I started doing this like gouging out of this, what's going to be a pool. I also did like a little, well, I started off doing little like cut out, and then I went bigger, and then I started to not like it, and then I decided to do another cave here with a little channel, and it just didn't seem to be working. I did do a little pool here as well. I thought it'd be quite nice to have a separate pool, but I didn't like it. It just wasn't working for me. So I got the other piece of board, the foam, and I started again, and I've come up with something which I think is a lot better than this first rather rash attempt at doing this piece of terrain. So let's set up the next piece. Okay, so I got the next piece and put it on top, and then I cut it to the size to give me this little step section, because I thought that would be pretty good for models to stand on. So I've got sort of almost 2 levels. Now one key thing about this piece of terrain is I do want the models to be able to physically stand on the piece of terrain. So no sort of steep hills, etc. So I'm going to have this little step up here and then a step up to the top section. Now because I'd obviously gouged out the underside, even when I put this down onto the right position, it didn't cover all of the holes completely, as you can see from the front section. So I decided to make some little caves out of that and actually use my rash first start to an advantage. So I've made some little caves and I'm going to fill this in, of course, and then I'm going to have the water effects in here as well as on the top. So I think it should work quite well. And then I used the original cave and put that on there, so still using that. Let's just line this up. And I haven't actually cut out the new pool because I then decided, rather than going in rashly and cutting out another pool, what I would do is build the Promethium relay pipes first and get them in a position where I think they're going to lay down before I actually cut out the pool. So I've got the pipes built. I'm just going to lay them down now and give you an idea of where they're going to go. Okay, so that's what I came up with on the pipes. Now, just out of interest, I don't know if you remember my review video, we looked at this here, and it said we had 2 corner pieces, one each of these, one each of these. Well, my box didn't have that. I had 2 broken pipe pieces and only 1 corner piece. Now they're fixed sprues, so I'm assuming that this here is just wrong on the box, but just a point of interest. So yeah, I laid down the pipes. It's quite a big piece of terrain for the amount of pipes that I've got. I think it's enough, but I thought I would just add a little bit extra to this. So what I got myself was some of these little tubes, and these are the inside of a till roll, and I thought I would maybe try to extend these tubes just to make them basically a bit more impressive, and also bearing in mind that I think potentially these are going to be Necron tubes, Necron pipes rather than Imperial. Now I haven't 100% decided on that. What I need is I need a story for this piece of terrain, and I have to be honest, I don't have a story yet. So if you guys could come up with a story for this piece of terrain, whether it be these are Imperial pipes and there's a story behind why they're on this Necron world, or whether I'm going to actually change them into Necron pipes, I'm not sure yet. But I do have a little idea regarding some metal scarabs which I've got, so I'm thinking of having some metal scarabs on these pipes. So back to these pipes, and what I decided to do was pop these till rolls inside the pipe and use them to extend. I was going to put a small one in there to extend the pipes out. Now obviously these will have to be glued, of course, so I was going to extend that one out, and then I was thinking of extending this one right into the middle of the pool like that. And then on this one, again, just giving this a little bit more extension just to make it a little bit bigger. So I was thinking of something like that. I think that helps give me this angle, because obviously this corner piece is going to either be sort of in that side of the board, or potentially you may be having it that way round. So at least then you've got some extra terrain for you to actually hide your models behind. So that is my idea. I may not necessarily use the longest piece of tube there. I might find myself a smaller piece than that small one, than that big one, so that it's sort of back here. So I'm not 100% decided, but that's the idea basically. So once I'd laid down the pipes, I then very carefully drew out where I think the pool's going to be. So I don't know if you can see this on the camera. Let's just try and zoom in a little bit. So I don't know if you can see my line there, but I've made this line going up into the cave. So that is where I'm planning on cutting out the little pool area for the acid stroke water effects to be. So the acid water effects will be in this top section, and then I'll be putting in obviously the water effects just at the bottom in those 2 little cave areas. So eventually I will hopefully have something which is going to be a little bit more 3D as such, I suppose, with the water effects. It won't just be one big pool at the top and that's it. You know, it will have those extra details at the bottom there. I could arguably put a little cave in this side, but I'm thinking I'll probably just leave it on this side. I do need to go back in and just reshape these and just tidy them up. That's all very rough, so I'll need to do that as well. But yeah, that is how my piece is looking so far. So I'm really happy with it. Once I slowed down a little bit, as I said, I did go a bit quick, I think, at the beginning, to be honest. But I slowed down and thought about it a little bit more. And I think the results show that. So yeah, let me know all of your thoughts and ideas. Appreciate all the feedback as always, and I really look forward to seeing all of your terrain projects come together as well. Thanks for watching.